pile. So it's December 2020, and quick look at my Tamiya tank collection. So got a bunch of tanks here. So I've always wanted these tanks. So I've had this catalogue here since I was a child. So been into Tamiyas since around about probably 1989. That's that sort of period there. And I've kind of liked most of the cars, but I'm really also into the tanks as well. So you can see here we've got the German heavy tank King Tiger. So the King Tiger basically that translates to this one here. And I say it's normally a man in the top. I've got him. So that's that one there. And then you've got here you've got the Flak Panzer Gepard as well, which is cool. So I'll go that briefly in a second. And I've got the original instructions, a couple of controllers here. And then you've got the American tank as well, the Sherman. This one here. So I just thought I'd take the shell off. I'll just show you this one here is mega early. So this one here is it's dated in here, but basically it's 1974 for this one. This one here is 1978, and I think that one there was 1981. I think it's stamped. So pretty sweet. So this one here, I've got the original stickers for it as well, or transfers to go in it. Had these absolutely ages. These ones here, you can see here it's got that wood in there, you know, 'cause it's been repaired. You know, it's all sort of been fixed and stuff like that. But the dual clutches on there. I'm running the more modern, slightly more modern electronics here, which I fitted myself. Got a few spares and bits and bobs in there as well. So it's all metal. As you can see, things like, you know, the wheels broken off. You know, I'm not sure why I haven't attached it, but I'm kind of guessing I probably was missing the central part here that pushes it on. Yeah, that works, but it's a sort of more of a project sort of thing. And so it was missing the turret as well, so the cannon. Sorry, so I got that on there as well. And then onto this one here. So I've already sort of pre-loosened this. This one here is again is 4-channel on these two. So the turret spins round when you press one of the buttons. Again, I've loosened off the body shell on it, and this one here is stamped just there, 1981. And this one actually runs plastic tracks on this, so the wider plastic tracks, metal chassis, 540 motor, metal and plastic gears. Again, you've got the dual clutch, so it's kind of, it's very, I mean, they're all very similar, but it's similar to this one here, just kind of like much more heavy duty, much better design really, I guess, because it's that bit newer. And here's the more 80s speed controller, and again the old Futaba items in there. But that's in really good condition, and that's a really nice tank to drive. That one there is. And then we move on to this one here. This again is one I've wanted for absolutely, like, literally since sort of 1989. Since I cast eye on this catalogue, you know, I've wanted all the Tamiyas, but I've wanted this one here in particular. So yeah. I've had to do a lot of work to it to get it, you know, sorted and stuff like that. But it's getting there. It's not running yet. You know, gluing this on, fixing this on, taking it apart to check the gearing and all that sort of stuff. Fixing, you know, some repairs on here. Again, it's not finished yet, but that's just the base coat with a little repair job I did. This here. Open it up, and also I'll do something else with that. And sort of start to repair bits and bobs in here. Because it's got a motor mechanism there that operates to turn the radar. Close that back up. It's all a little bit delicate, because obviously you can't get parts. I'm not where you can get parts for any of these. Okay, this is actually attached on, so I can lift it off carefully. And actually, one of the channels actually lifts up the guns. And I believe it also rotate. Yeah, I believe it when it rotates the turret. That's when it rotates the radar at the same time as this rotates on the same channel. And so the turret's up and down. But again, I haven't got to that stage yet where I've tested it. Little cover here, which you can slide over. Has a switch underneath, and there's another cover as well that goes over the top to make it more realistic. And in here, I've basically cleaned it up. So it looks it didn't look like this. It looked pretty decent, but it's now sorted. So I've cleaned up and reapplied all the servos with new rubber mounts, or new foam mounts, same as the 6-channel vintage receiver. As you can see here, I put a battery and I've soldered on a modern Tamiya connector on there. I say a modern, you know, a 1990s one. Got some batteries in there ready for the receiver box. So I've ordered a receiver box. Can't use the one in that one there because it has a different connection. That one plugs straight into the receiver. This one here goes into this here, then into the switch, and then into the receiver. Got little mini sort of speed controllers there, or items which basically turn the turret and operate the turret in forward and reverse, I believe. Double clutch on there again. You have a fuse in here. It's actually a real fuse, which is quite cool. Vintage sort of speed controller. I forget what it's called exactly, but ultimately it's a speed controller for the throttle, for the tracks. Metal tracks on this one here, same as this one. Again, servos on here to operate the throttle, servos for the clutch, servos here for the turret, and there's another, and then there's also another channel there which powers it into here to operate the guns and so on. I'm not really sure because I haven't got it running yet, but that's kind of like the general gist of it. Really nice gears in there. So I've cleaned up. This had some damage here, so it's broken off in transit and bent, so I repaired that. I had to put the battery on. Also, I can't test it with the controller yet, but we can do this. Where is it? Where's it on? Oh, maybe it needs switching on there. Okay. Right, so I can't really adjust that. Well, I can unplug that, but I don't want to do it whilst I don't want to pull it off one-handed. There we are. So I quickly unplug that one-handed. Yeah, and you can definitely tell that hasn't been around for a long time. That smells, you know. It's sort of, you've got the heat. I guess you've got the heat coming out of, maybe there's some sort of resistor inside here, I guess. So I can definitely smell the heat transferring through that. But yeah, there we go. Just thought I'd give you a quick insight into the tanks, sort of slightly different ages and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and so hopefully I'll finish this one here. Once the battery box arrives, I can see if this now works, and then do some fine tuning, because there's quite a lot of, I've done quite a lot of work inside the turrets. And you can see there's, you know, re-greased already, so you can't test it until you put power through the motor. A little wire here, which is an earth wire, which goes onto this mount here. Yeah, sort of upside down, yeah, but you can see made in Japan, 1978, 116 Gepard. And excuse the pronunciation if it's not pronounced Gepard. And there we go. And that's it. That is the tanks. Looking forward to running these. Interesting sort of see this sort of different mechanisms and stuff on here. You know, I mean, it's ultimately the same sort of thing, but just in a sort of different layout, really. Of course, this one is at the back, and this one is at the front of the tank. And the vintage, the tiny little motors. You know, I mean, all that I should really get in there actually and clean all that out actually. So I think, you know what, if once this one is done, I haven't really looked at this one properly for a long time. So I think I might actually get in there and clean up all of that crap. You know, maybe wiring the LEDs and stuff on here, paint the turrets, yeah, all of those bits of the wheels if I can find any bits. I believe they possibly remade this one here, so I might be able to get hold of those bits to hold the wheels on, or just make something otherwise. Cool, there we are. Cheers.